Welcome back, lords and ladies, to the Academy League. Please keep your hands and legs inside the stream at all times as we prepare for Game 3 with Golden Guardians taking on 100 Thieves. That is correct, and you can hear the crowd going crazy right now. I'm so sorry, it's so loud. Now, regardless of what league you're watching, LCS Academy or Academy, the Golden Guardians were not looking so hot, and the organization has made some big changes coming into the summer. Let's talk about them.
I think they're really cool from a philosophical standpoint.
Got 'em.
We've had heard from this team that a catalyst for this change was the desire to have the Academy team capable of scrimming the Challenger LCS roster. So they've brought in a lot of veteran talent to the lineup. The bot lane has been replaced by Benji and Sheep. We last saw Benji under the name Laud on Team Dignitas, while Sheep played on Team Coast and Tempo Storm in the Challenger Series not too long ago. Zig was also the third veteran brought in previously, in the top lane for Optic, taking Jenkin's spot in the bot lane. And it's cool because previously they had way too much inexperience on their team. Even though you want to develop 5 players, that's just a little bit of a pipe dream. And now you work better for the Academy and better for your LCS squad.
Who have made a couple roster changes of their own.
Yep, in the top lane, Kaizen replaced by Brandini, who was on TSM Academy last split, while Wyan has been replaced by Stunt. To utilize him in this meta with the kind of gold funneling strategy. We saw it with Tarek yesterday, but I would like to see them continue doing it. Did not work out last time, but I want to see that confidence in that player. Punishment. I'm not a glutton for punishment. I love Tarek, or I love gold funneling. I think it's an interesting strategy. I hope it's not dominant. If it's dominant, definitely needs a nerf. I'm not sold either way quite yet. And I love Levi. I love that level 6 Nocturne, 4 minutes in the game, whatever it was at Worlds. More of that, please.
It was. All right, we'll have to see. All that's left is the roster rundown. So let's check it out. On the blue side, it is Golden Guardians Academy. That means the top lane is Zig. Jungling is Potluck. Bob Chin in the mid lane. Benji at bot with Sheep as his support.
And over on the red side is 100 Thieves Academy. In the top lane, Brandini. Levi in the jungle. Linsanity in the mid lane with Rikara and Stunt down there in the bot side.
Golden Guardians actually being able to get their victory over Clutch Gaming yesterday, so feeling pretty good about that to start things off for them. That thinking of what came from last season to this season, definitely wanting to start better and keep that confidence there. CLG's already been doing it, so somebody's got to fight against them.
Yeah, I mean, why not Golden Guardians be a really big kind of validation for the org for the decisions that they made in the offseason.
That's the word I was looking for.
Validation.
Validation.
Yeah. And we'll have to see. I mean, 100 Thieves showed that they had some understanding of the meta by kind of going for that strategy. But they played it into the side. They played it into Fiddlesticks, who was kind of a counter for Yi. Point and click CC that runs him away, because it doesn't slow him. He just runs away from the team fight at 1,000,000 miles an hour for 2 seconds.
He's like, I'm really fast, but now I'm going this way.
Yeah, I'm really fast out of the fight, and it's something that is super popular in solo queue. We see it all the time in the LCK, but it doesn't appear as much, it feels like, in other regions, especially not in what we've seen out of North America thus far. And so maybe they weren't quite ready for that, didn't think that they had to ban it if they were running Tarek.
Well, Golden Guardians not wanting it at all.
Yeah, Tarek's out.
Tarek gun.
But there's other combinations, right? So I think Tarek is one that, when I've seen it work, it looks BS. Whereas when I see new Karthus or that Aurelia game in the first game of the day, it didn't look broken. It looked like a very sound strategy that they executed well on. And so I hope to see 100 Thieves maybe with some other options up their sleeve.
See, the thing about the super comp is, you're making it a champion with other abilities. This is the part I love, right? You don't really get Tarek. It's like Yi with a dazzle.
Yeah, Yi with a stun and some invulnerability.
You just gave him dazzle.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. You're kind of just making that one guy. Here, as we said, taking out Annie being hovered over to show a little bit of love to the early game picks. I should say early years of league picks, not early game picks in Annie. Definitely a term we use. Mordekaiser, that last ban, is Zoe gets locked in to start things off. Yeah,
Zoe, we were kind of saying the standard mage still kind of left in the meta. That is very high priority. A lot of people still think it's super duper strong. Graves, Heyo, another carry-oriented jungler that we were talking about, you can run this strategy with. They also grabbed another priority pick in the Aurelia. Not quite revealing if it's a super gold funneling strategy or not for that Graves pick. It does work with a couple things. We've obviously heard about Tarek. We've heard about Mordekaiser. Can work with Braum, some people say. So we'll have to see what else can work. Or maybe it's just a Graves normal.
I don't know. We got aggro junglers. That's what I love. Junglers is what I love. As both of these guys have been banned left and right, as we've been seeing it throughout the games yesterday and today. Here we get a little playtime for Shinzao and Graves.
And it looks like it might be a brand as well, kind of continuing.
That's a lot of power.
I mean, I love the brand. It works in the support position just as having a ton of damage and being able to win a lane on its own. Or if you put in the AD carry or the bot lane carry position, it actually can scale a little bit. And you saw those double pen items coming up really big in team fights. So I think it's great overall. And 100 Thieves Academy starting to put together a pretty aggressive dive comp with that Rakan.
Yep, and quite mismatch here as we get through wherever Aurelia or Zoe would go, to be honest. Zoe could change. But to wherever that Aurelia could go.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Like you said, the only really match position for sure is that jungle spot. So no more jungle bans coming in. And Aurelia fits in 3 lanes right now, depending on the matchups. I love that. Who knows where she's going?
We used to get mad when champions could do that.
Did we?
People would make forum posts.
Did we? I don't remember.
He can play top, bot, and mid. That's not right.
Yeah, I will concede a little bit that if a champion can be played anywhere, because Aurelia was in the jungle game 1. Like, if a champion can be played anywhere, maybe there's something.
It's different.
There's maybe something wrong with that champion.
I'm just poking fun.
Yeah.
Definitely slightly different. Second phase bans almost finished as LeBlanc from Golden Gardens Academy. And what else? Looking at that Ezreal and Alistar from 100 Thieves.
Yeah, LeBlanc's a champion that is still pretty strong in the meta. They reverted her kind of back to the way she was pre-mini rework, so no more of that passive that applies marks and activates over 3 seconds and then spreads. It's a lot more back to just that W max, just does a big chunk of damage. And it's a lot simpler. Overall, though, still a strong pick and one of the few AP assassins people are really playing in the mid lane. And Kaisa gone, too.
Oh, that was the final one. Good call. I had not taken a look back down at the bottom of the screen. The Lulu's locked in? I feel like that's going to be the pick. You have an Aurelia, you have a Graves diving in, protection from the Rakan. It's a little more protection.
Yep, makes a lot of sense with the comp thus far. Lulu can support the dive while not also being a diver herself. And also works with counter engage. I mean, maybe if you start falling behind, the Xin Zhao starts jumping on your face. Very nice to have some way of getting him off of you.
We got Golden Guardians. 2 picks. Are you ready? Mundo's one of them. Safety pick. I feel like they actually knew they were picking Mundo throughout that. A quick rundown of the time allows them to figure out what the final pick is, though. So they double that time, basically for Sheep to lock in this last one.
This is basically deciding if the brand is support or carry in the bot lane at this point. So we'll have to see what they go for. It also matters what they're playing against. I mean, Rakan is interesting to have picked into brand because a lot of people see brand as the counter to Rakan. Because what happens is he uses his ult, he W's in, and then he E's out to his AD carry, right?
It's possible.
Right, and then you just ult him when he E's out. The ult follows him and just bounces between the 2 people a billion times. So it's actually a bit of a soft counter to Rakan, and we see it will be played in the carry position with Soraka supporting it.
He definitely moves faster on that E than he does a W. You gotta be quick brand.
It's something where you can kind of read it.
When you read it coming in as like you hit the ground, you're like R.
Yeah, or it
gets out of there.
Sometimes you toss it as the W starts and then maybe it bounces between some creeps. It's just one of those things where
I like it.
Rakan is very, very squishy and Brand's damage comes out very, very fast. So you do have the ability to burst him down a couple different ways.
I remember if you play Brand like on really low ping, you basically can you hit E, and it basically looks like your Q is coming out of your chest because you're still Eing if you can EQ fast.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great, that low ping Brand.
Yeah.
A beauty. Benji's going to lock that in for this game, a.k.a. Old Lot. But now Benji, see what he can do. Both comps are locked in. Now, we're definitely getting a bit of flavor again for this game.
Oh, yeah, lots and lots of flavor. That GP last pick, I think it surprised a lot of people that GP is still in the meta. It is seen a fair amount, and you think of GP as hyper-scaling carry in the top side with weak laning phase. But he actually does spike decently well on 1 to 2 items with the Triforce Sterix Gauge build, and so he's actually fine up there. Depending on the matchups, he doesn't get punished that hard. Tank Mundo will have a little bit of a difficulty punishing him. So you can actually see GP a little bit with all this crazy shenanigans going on. And with that GP pick, it also forces the Aurelia down into the bot lane. And this will be a tough lane for Brand a little bit. I think, you know, we talk about how much he enjoys bullying other carries. It's a bit difficult when they have a significant all-in threat against you. So if you're against an Alistar and AD carry, that's not super huge all-in threat. But here against, you know, basically level 2 and onwards, they can go all in once You have the E and the Q for Aurelia,
Oh,
and the
word.
W for Rakan.
This would be so scary too. As a Brand and a Soraka, if you get tagged by those, you're basically like, leave me, just run. We can't retaliate.
No. I mean, it's interesting though, because
Look at the silence and
I was about to say, with the silence, if you're not careful as Rakan, you go in, you do your W, you knock up the Brand, Soraka silences, Brand lands, and then combos you, and you're stunned forever. So you have to be pretty careful when you choose to go in here, but if you can find an opportunity to hit both, or maybe Aurelia starts it off with an E, there's not much mobility to get out of the E, you might see a chance here for... I guess what I'm saying is the bot lane's going to be volatile, right? There's a lot of ways you can shake out. Who exactly knows how matchups play out? I mean, that's one of the big things we're talking about is adaptability now versus playing well-understood matchups.
Man's going to be hot.
Man's not hot.
It's going to be. No stopping it.
Well, if Benji dies a bunch, is he hot?
His opponent's hot. He's already on fire. Look at this guy.
It's a ghost. It's not fire.
He's zombie.
Look at the skin.
Zombie and ghost are not the same thing. Come on.
It's ectoplasm.
Step up. 2 minutes from Potluck. As he moves in, is he going to do the early? He's just saying scuttle. That vision, though, popped. He's not going to see it, so his ward dies before theirs. But he may be finding Levi quite soon. Good stun. They're going to get the hit down as well. Another shot. No, as they get the heal, actually. Nicely on the Quill coming through from stun.
I was talking about level 2 all in. Well, you got to get to level 2 first. Both of them are level 1, already chunked out. Potluck with that takedown there. It's kind of hovering for a dive. Bakara is regenning up. This could be risky.
The thing is they have that gleaming Quill. If they can get it before level 2, there's no knock up, and then they can get out. But if they get level 2, oh man.
Oh, Ricard can also take W here to try and negate some.
Oh, there it is! He flashes out from the knock up. Can they finish the kill? Almost fast enough. Everybody knew exactly what had to happen there. And it's just as Stunt was leveling that W, couldn't get it in time.
Yeah, I gotta think that was a bit of a poor decision, all things considered. You know, you do get the flash out, but it's spent a significant portion of your jungler's time here. Levi, you know, level 3 already, Xin Zhao's level 2, double buffed up. Now gonna be wrapping around on this gank. They're gonna go for this.
And you have vision of what just happened to Potluck.
Oh
no! They're gonna turn around on Stunt too, but he gets the shield over to Levi. They're going down, and Levi just put himself in the frying pan. Don't think he's gonna lose double buffs here. Sheep could get himself back in for a silence and a few extra damage bits from Benji as the teleport comes in. Interesting, but it is Ricara's, and he belongs there.
Yeah, Riccara just not wanting to lose out on more. Just a little too aggressive.
Potluck's back.
Yeah, Potluck is like, hey, my bot lane just 3v2 just fine. All right, Brand's 2-0. That was I think, a good idea on the side of 100 Thieves Academy. They just didn't need to go quite that soon. So Levi's going to hop the wall, and that's when Riccara is going to go. Like, just wait for him to actually be wrapping around the backside. As a result, gets exploded. Stunt not able to stay in the mix either. Tries to get around the backside. And, you know, you wanted Levi to think maybe you can jump over there, but that would have been probably an overextension. The healers are ticking. If he lands a Q, as Soraka going to heal up even more. And so Levi just skips on out of there, and bot lane is behind now. Yeah, Benji getting full pen boots and Sheep able to grab up a little bit more AP as he builds up his quest item. So that's more damage coming through from that lane. I gotta just say, great EQs coming in from Benji to start things off and get those stuns locked down. Always fun to see a Brand player hitting the majority of those stuns. Potluck back to his own jungle. Low on mana, probably just sort out these last bit of Krugs here so they can respawn and be a higher level and not just be level 1 the entire game. Yep. both tending to their Krugs. Yeah, Krugs are one of those camps that you just kind of sometimes hate doing. They take so long. Did he finish his Yeah, he did, okay. Yep. I was like, wait a minute. You see Levi continue just to power farm on the Graves. You know, as bad as that dive was, it's probably not quite the end of the world. You do have a pretty immobile backline. Zoe can kind of hop around with her ult, but Soraka can get assassinated. Anyone on that team can basically get assassinated. You factor in the GP ultimate, you probably still have the ability to kill them. It's just with how snowbally the game is now, your bot lane really needs to stabilize from this point onwards. A nice redemption coming out from Bagshin. A little twitch in my eye whenever I do that. Anytime it's like, how is this ability happening? 5 minutes into the game. Yeah. Oh boy. We see a lot of teams just overpowering this bottom lane here. Continuously going in. Even Levi is there. They feel like they can get the drowsy. That's follow-up damage. That's going to be enough
to go in for Potluck. He just goes down immediately. What were these guys thinking? As there was obviously enough damage to take it back, but it is just pull the trigger and ask questions later right now.
Yeah, there you see that kind of over-aggression coming in. We talked about the GP being able to just drop his ultimate down. That is enough to cover. The turret will still drop 6 minutes into the game. So not the end of the world for Golden Guardian, but does give some gold back. Luckily for them, the kill went onto the Rakan, not the happiest member to receive that kill.
Yeah.
And that is a weak Aurelia with no turret already.
Just the name of the game is escalated right now when we see these types of compositions. Just everything happens so much faster, and it slows down a bit compared to what we've seen in the past, where you still have teams taking down a second turret. But this is amazing to see. Again, bot lane turret dives. Here it is again.
Yeah, and the Drowsy lands. Surprised he doesn't prop his W there. If Rikara W's as the sleep comes in, it kind of protects you from that
damage. The resistances, yep.
Yep, and as a result, he did have it for after, but he used his first charge of E during the sleep, and I'm not sure if he got his second one off. Either way, though, he was able to survive through that, and they get the kill back. The turret drops, but, you know, that's as best as you can kind of hope for it to go. With that now, we'll have to see what Benji and Sheep choose to do. It looks like they're going back down bot lane. Same story for CLG Academy, running the brand carry bot.
Yeah.
Last game, he does have that Oblivion Orb as well, so he is going to hurt real bad.
Cool as well to see what was a marksman for so many years for Benji. And coming into play some AP carries now for the team in the bot lane. Everybody's kind of branching out to those positions, but I'm sure we've all A-rammed a few AP champs. These guys know how to kind of play outside of that normal box. It's crazy to see that they can continuously do this, though, and feel so, I should say, so confident on.
And it's interesting, too, because a lot of there's two kind of conflicting ideas on solo queue amongst pro players. Some of them say, play the meta stuff, spam your role, just be as knowledgeable as you can on your role. And some players like to play every role as much as they can and learn how the game works everywhere. And those are the players right now who are going to benefit.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're right.
A guy like A guy like Piglet loved playing Lee Sin. He just loved playing that. He loved playing other roles. He even played mid professionally for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when he played solo queue, he didn't just play AD carries and things like that. So that can help. And I assume Benji, like you said, has had a fair share of brand.
Oh yeah. Sheep trying to get in and be a nuisance. First Drake of the game. We finally get our first non-infernal for Mountain to start off the Academy split here on the live screen.
And you saw that objective power brand coming in. Sleepy Dragon.
I love the blue screen of Sleep. Clearing out the ways. The Rikara and stun. Looks like they'll go back to get a few more items. Stunt wants, or Rikara rather, trying to finish up an item. We'll see what he gets as he finishes his back, but that is going to be minions pushing down the bot side. I'm surprised we haven't seen a Benji and Sheep push to another lane. Maybe we will now that Dragon is gone.
Yeah, I assume you'll start seeing them move around a little bit more, try and get some sieges against the Lulu. The gold is not as large as you think based off the kills and the turret going down early, but you have a lot of extra gold generation actually on the side of 100 Thieves. You see there, 600 extra gold, just about 500 extra gold for the GP. Well known with his parlay and kleptomancy, ends up ahead. But also the Aurelia, having a gold generation item, is able to kind of stay a little bit more relevant than you might have been otherwise. So those two factors combined are able to help minimize how bad this gold lead could have been.
Exactly a grievous wound, but he does have trial by fire, so Brandini doing a bit of extra damage with those hits. It's a different story many patches ago for that matchup, where you'd be able to just cut healing all the time with your hits as a gangplank. The craziness.
Hopefully we see someone pick up one of those executioners calling.
At least this game.
We saw what happened last game if you don't find a way to cut into Mundo's healing. Lynn's Sanity, maybe can pick up Morello Nomicon or something.
That's true.
See what he chooses to go for. Someone's got to get something to deal with the Mundo.
Yeah, lanes are breaking now. Levi towards the top. Quick takeout as they get the shot on Scuttle Crab. Very nice pickup there. He's 65 to 54 against Potluck Shinzao. A stun possibly coming through, forcing the flash. That would have been a pretty easy shot for Benji to connect with that just outside of turret range, and Lynn's Sanity knew it.
Yeah, I like that flash early before you take the W damage, and then don't test his skill shot accuracy with the Q. Just assume he's going to hit both get out of there, stay healthy, so you can hopefully contest this Rift Herald that Golden Guardians has started up.
Ooh, what a read on that play. They said he's going to farm a wave. Let's use that time to kill him. Amazingly locked down there by 100 Thieves, and now they have movement in mid.
Yeah, great shot calling. They lost that the flash in the mid lane for themselves, and then they know the enemy team wants to take that advantage and go to Rift Herald before Zoe can kind of join up with them. They pick her off, and this is what we were talking about a little bit with Golden Guardians' lack of mobility. Rakan will be able to find these engages non-stop against them, and as long as they have the ability to follow up and the Soraka is not able to keep them alive, they should find a lot of kills. Actually gets them to the gold lead too.
Ah! Window shopper. Almost gets himself out. They're still safe, but that does affect the back timers. Now they can start to pressure Rift Herald a little bit more. Gangplank ultimate is about 20 seconds for being up.
Only the Rakan went back to base though, so
yeah,
doesn't look like they're going to head over. Looks instead like they want to finish off this mid turret. Everyone's collapsing down there. They have to be careful if this leads to a fight though once that Rift Herald's done.
Let's all share it.
You just want it at this point. You want gold.
Yeah, of course. So pick up for Potluck. Brandini heads back towards the top side. He'll be in a 2v1 for a moment, but it looks like he's getting a little bit of extra help as they realize the map is swapping, and Golden Guardians kind of has the movement on that.
Yeah, but like you said, Brandini's ult up is also just GP in general, so those barrel combos with the Triforce completed very quickly, 12 minutes into the game, is actually able to clear those waves out just fine.
With the subtle stopwatch purchases as well. You know what? I want invulnerability for a second. I have some extra gold. I'm GP. That's what you get for investing well. He keeps the lane safe. Benji and Sheep not really wasting time to go topside, still farming it out, creating pressure, but they do not get the turret. So a chance for 100 Thieves to gain mid and gather a little bit of ground to see what they may be able to do next after a pretty good start here from Golden Guardians.
This is when we get into that interesting discussion about what lane assignments you should have.
Yeah, what next?
They have the bot lane match up against the GP, and actually looks like they didn't want that because I guess GP's wave clear is too good for their pushing. So they actually want to get there, despite the fact that you think Mundo into Aurelia sounds much better than Mundo into GP, it actually is worse for the Brand and the Soraka. So they're going to try and find lanes that they can push up and get some damage down on turrets. And like we said, GP too good against that.
Few pings down bot. Looks like they're gonna double Scuttle. Scuttle's down. Or are they grabbing Scuttle? They're just hiding over it. Oh, they're going for bot vision is what they're doing. Resource grabs and Scryer's Bloom to figure out what's happening, as well as just say, Benji, we have your defensive wall here on this side of the map.
Yeah, Brand very immobile, very scared of Rakan
Yep.
engage and things like that, so needs his team to kind of give him that safety net to push up in the lane.
Starting to steal blues. I mean, you know, Levi has to start using collateral damage just to get his buffs. They're getting strangled out just a little bit.
Did pick up the Executioner's calling though, so good job. Someone saw what happened last game maybe and was like, let's not be that.
Oh, putting it to work.
Yeah, right away.
Woo! Verified. It works right away. You do not have to wait for this item.
It's always nice to get that instant validation, like maybe I didn't need it. Maybe I'm not going to fight the Mundo. Oh, you killed him with your red buff burn.
Use this ultimate and flash there, so a lot of resources down that allow him to be a nuisance in a fight, as well as get that flash to be a possible engage. Not the best engage, but possible. Teleports up, he can get back onto the map, but Brandini has free time topside now. Not being able to participate in too much. He's been an only lonely, ulting the rest of the map.
And you know, the gold lead's still in Golden Guardians' favor a little bit, but 100 Thieves have mostly clawed their way back into the game, actually getting the the kill advantage now. And it's with Rift Herald in this mid lane, maybe they lose this, but this is you know, one of the advantages Golden Guardians has secured for themselves. If they're able to take this out without losing their mid lane turret, this has been a great early game recovery for them.
Wow, and there it is. Pushing down now, abilities are going to be used on the Dragon, possible cooldowns that they can use in this fight. 100 Thieves watching their positioning as the teleport now comes in. Nice flawless duet on the teleport to stop Zig immediately.
Yeah, good reaction. Golden Guardians committed that to grab the Infernal Drake, their second dragon of the game. Big pickup, just with how much it helps your damage. So probably worth that teleport. But 100 Thieves now with a substantial gold lead because they took that top lane turret in response. And this is cool to me because we talked about with the snowball meta and how they just got a double kill to start the game in the bot lane. You think this game's over from what we've been conditioned to see. And you see why people who still pick utility are able to come back in games. If no one picks utility, then yes, whoever gets a big lead early will win. But here with GP's utility, it's stalling out waves, stopping some of this aggression from the Brandon Soraka lane, and the Lulu being able to provide some extra utility for her team. You're seeing that 100 Thieves have found a way back into this game.
What is next? No forward wars just yet. It looks like Stunt. He'll take that into consideration as a support. Very nicely done getting that vision score up for himself. And a bit of that possibly for plays on the bot side. They want to say, all right, we'll start to work that a little bit. We know Brandini's top, so we'll start to ward bot and give Rikara a little bit more safety. Just the same thing Golden Guardian was doing as Benji was pushing on.
And there you go, Riv. Brand's got your Leandries this time around.
That's interesting.
You made an interesting face when I pointed that out. I thought you would be more excited because you talked about...
I am. I'm super excited. It's more of that late game, though. Like, you want HP on your enemy, right? Oh, well. Madness is better in the long, healthy fights.
Yeah, I definitely know what you're saying. This is not a team comp on the side of 100 Thieves Academy that instantly screams % health damage burn. Playing for Rikara.
Stunt goes in, Rikara as well, disarmed on the backside, but nobody's gonna really be running through that one. Bobchin ignites, he's gonna stay alive. Power luck is low as Brandini's starting to get cut down now. Nobody is dead in this fight with slivers of health around the map. Enough charges for Rikara. No flash there as he's used it. He's gonna waltz through the turret. I was gonna say, big balls on him if he kept going through that one. 18 minutes coming up on the clock, but 100 Thieves is able to grasp down on this fight. Start a bit of damage on the mid lane turret. I maybe am corrected here. Is Zig very healthy after his ultimate is able to step forward.
It does not actually result in any kills. I'm very surprised Rikara did not go harder in that fight. It looked like he had some free kills lined up for him. Got a little bit of cold feet, and maybe this is when you look at how comfortable a player is on this champion. His team did engage and drew a lot of the enemy's fire early on. You saw Levi get kind of chunked out, Stunt much the same way, and he was off on the side, pretty much full HP. Did not decide to pull the trigger on that. Ends up with both teams disengaging, and then Golden Guardians return to that mid lane to grab that turret for themselves, dragging that gold lead back a little closer.
Good cleanup here for Benji. Don't know why I changed voices, but it is still good cleanup. Ooh. Not liking the fight as much on that side. Brandini with the speed to kind of skip in and out of those briefcases, and Zig realizes it. Just stays back. Here comes Levi, though. And a little bit of pressure as they don't have too much vision across the rest of the map, but they're still going to try to tack down on this one.
Yeah, Zig looks like he's a little concerned about that Executioner's calling stopping him, because normally you would say, oh, Mundo's fine under this turret with those armor and his ult. But maybe more concerned now, and is actually going to back off here, which will allow Brandini to grab his second turret of the game, basically.
Krugs for Zig.
Oh,
Brandini,
not quite.
yeah, one more wave. He looks like he'll get stunned as well. He's like, hey, it took me an extra wave. Come down here. Just don't take my gold.
Oh, he's taking that gold.
Oh, rude. That's all right. Great
hey,
job
I helped, bro. I'm helping.
That's all right. Supports love it. You need that gold too. The Fiends for Stunt. A little quill heals out there. I like it. Interesting. And the Kindle Gem for some more cooldown.
It's surprising because even with the changes to Ardent, you still saw that sometimes. You also still saw Zeke's Convergence. He forgoes both of those in order to grab the Athenes. Have to see how this will work out. I understand, you know, you don't have someone you're ideally going to pair up with maybe enough to really see the benefit of the conduit of Zeke's, because it makes the most sense on your jungler, the Graves ranged auto attacker, but you're also not necessarily, well, they're grouped up a fair amount, so maybe he would have had enough of it. Either way, he decides to go with something that's more generically used with the Thieves.
He can choose anybody he wants.
With any E will now help.
Sheep doing a good job of keeping that bottom side of the map clear of 100 Thieves wards. And they have to be quite careful. It also gives Bobchin a nice fog of war to work with to get all of these drowsy bubbles in, cause trouble for 100 Thieves. They're moving in. Brandini says, a few wards for me, please. We need to get these wards encroached further in. That's what the team is doing as they look to make their next hit. Mid lane turret might be that, as pressure is being created by Zig on the bot side.
Yeah, but Brandini's going down to answer, and with GP having the wave clear that he does.
The Rosie.
Yeah. Well, Mundo's in a bit of a bad spot here. Yep, Brandini takes the blast cone away.
I love it. There's the ulti.
Gets
Hit
it slow.
Through, beautifully done there. Levi's going to be putting on them grievous wounds in one more attack. The heal gets cut. Is still able to stay quite strong here. And Levi says, I want to farm this out. Let's not create too much pressure. As the other team comes down, we have to keep our focus for an all-out fight, and that's what they do as they jockey for position here in the river.
Yeah, I'm sure they would have loved to have grabbed a kill there, but they did force the ult and flash out of the Mundo before this Infernal Drake, but it's going down so fast.
Couldn't even tell what that was. It was like, it's a green Drake. What color is green? He's on fire. Potluck goes in as well as Stun. He's trying to get himself to safety now. Everybody piles into the pit, but Golden Guardians have already left. Does that give them the upper hand to now choose which targets they want, as they can see 100 Thieves siphoning out, figuring out which way to go. Benji now in a fight with Brandini as Potluck goes to help him, but starts up the Krugs, and we see a 1 for 2 overall. No, a 2 for 2, sorry.
Yeah,
down.
Stunt kind of ended up dying on the back half of that as well. Started out looking great for 100 Thieves. Everyone pinned in the pit. The Mundo with no ultimate. The GP ult comes down. They find 2 quick kills, but Riccara gets over aggressive. You know, and here we see, I'm surprised they didn't go more aggressive here. I know they're not quite in position yet. The Lulu and the Aurelia coming from different sides. But then once this engage goes in, good job by Stunt getting everyone grouped up with the GP ultimate. They're going to find 2 quick kills. But then here, for what feels like the second fight in a row, we're going to see some inexperience by Riccara on this champion. Just goes flying over the wall and then doesn't actually follow up onto Benji. Goes left away from his team. Maybe he's dead either way, but doesn't put himself in a position to get any help. And then there you see Stunt just burning down on the other side.
Ooh. Riccara having to use everything to get out of that, as the flawless duet did not connect with Benji, so he flashes out. And he just actually teleported to get to that situation too, as you see it down. So both summoners for Riccara now.
Yeah, but the enemy team is a little far away from their mid lane now, and Brandini's going to start whacking away at that one. Somehow has become the primary turret taker for his team.
Doing well so far. Really good at dodging out these barrels, briefcases from Ziggs to his barrels. Ziggs really not taking the fights to him and says it's more kind of trouble than it's worth to keep this fight on Brandini. He'll come back with an orange and be fine. Still staying in the face of Zig right now and actually getting the upper hand a bit. Zig has to ult if they do get into these fights, but top lane is going to be the aggression. Do they find Benji? Flawless duet is out. The second one doesn't match. A nice stun coming in from Benji as well, and gets himself out of a 3v1 pressure top side.
Yep, nice footwork by Benji there to not step into that stun, and is able to mostly get out. Just costs his ultimate basically. Interesting adaptation by Brandini here in his build. We talked about how the 2-item power spike by GP being pretty good with the Sterix gauge, but he's against triple AP, and the only AD damage coming in is that Xin Zhao. So, of course, he decides to go with the Maw of the Malmortius, only 1 lifeline item working, so kind of handicaps his offensive abilities a little bit, but does give him extra survivability in these fights.
Leandri's for Insanity now. That'll do good damage against Zig. He'll be really able to kick it out once he gets the madness built up on his Leandries from that Haunting Guise. And a 4,000 gold lead on the side of 100 Thieves. Talking a bit about Brandini just a second ago on that gangplank. Was playing Gragas yesterday to not too shabby effect. They were running the Terek composition, so the rest of the team didn't really get to do much. But Brandini, I'd say he's loving this kind of meta. Always been a guy who plays a variety of champions. He can slot in really anywhere here.
Yeah, he was a guy, got some time on P1, has been kind of a bit of a journeyman, always ending up on teams, and hopefully finding a home here. And a great performance thus far in this game on that GP. Some really sick barrel combos, all things considered.
The poke. You're now realizing the poke from Golden Guardians as this team comes together. Holy moly, bubbles. You got fire flying, briefcases everywhere, as well as trying to dodge out from whatever sheep is laying down on the ground.
That's a great point that we haven't really talked about. Is the fact that Golden Guardians have basically built themselves a siege comp. Brand can kind of be shooting fish in a barrel. Obviously, Mundo and Zoe function the same way, and then you have the Soraka just kind of topping people off in that situation. And this is, I guess, why even more so that GP pick is fantastic, able to kind of wave clear when there's usually not that much. I think poke comps, while very fragile and risky in the meta, are also very hard to deal with once they get ahead because of that typical lack of wave clear. But this time around, they're doing just fine. Lulu as well, having a decent amount once you get that Ludens. Very popular first item on her because she doesn't need that much mana, which is, not to tangent too far here, another reason why these are the mages you see in the mid lane. Tyr and Archangel Staff takes too long to ramp up these days, and so you almost never see one of those champions in the meta. Zoe goes Ludens first because it has some mana in it, and same with the Lulu.
I mean, just 2 patches ago when we did the collegiate, well, I should say cast ago when we cast collegiate, it was on 2 patches. There's double tier Ezreal still, just that short ago.
Yeah.
2 tiers.
Everyone, when it initially came out, everyone's like, oh my god, this new Archangel stack is fantastic. It has mana, has cooldown reduction, scaling, a shield. Like, I love this item. And nowadays, well, it's 15 minutes and the game's over. I can't build this item.
Dry your tears, ladies and gentlemen. No more. No more.
Yep, Ludens has taken over as the first item of choice for mid lane mages.
I love Ludens. Great item. Makes a good noise, and it looks cool. Starting up on Dragon. Baron. Words. As they start on the worm.
Car with the flank.
Yeah, see what's going to happen here. He is slowly waiting. They haven't stepped through. One did. Oh, there goes Start right to the back line of the fight. Deleting both Sheep and Potluck as they get their hands in the pie. Who is next here? Zig can't even use his ultimate to be the front line here.
A great flank by Rikara. Oh, we see they're actually going to contest this Baron buff.
The drowsy bubble would really be the thing to hit. That kind of sorts makes you go at all sorts. You have to get a teammate to stand in front of you. That doesn't work. Somebody's standing over there. This guy exits stage left, and they are losing teammates all the same. Good damage from Benji here as he starts off a bit of a fight onto Brandini, who's just keeping himself K with oranges, and not a problem there. 100 Thieves slowly coming back and then taking the lead even slower throughout this game. Whoa! Okay. Benji going in with the ultimate. Beautiful job by 100 Thieves to separate the passive so it doesn't do continuously more damage. And we're back to Baron.
Well, what's interesting is maybe he bought his team enough time with that. You saw they had to go off the Baron and completely regen up the fold. Their team doesn't do this.
Sanity's got to be careful. That shield, he's going to go down to Baron damage if it ticks through. That shield wears off. He stays alive. And that was close, but you are right. The flash forward from Benji and the ultimate play keeps Baron alive, and we'll see it all once again.
And I like the way Rikara played this. He throws his ult out first to try and like stall them out. If you throw the E, it's a little hard to land sometimes if you just throw it completely out there. So starts with the ult to mark the targets guaranteed, and then can use the E for the stun. And it also stalls out long enough for stunt to wrap around. They get those 2 kills quick. Zig runs in, they're split up. There's no quite way for them to do this, and they're kind of in full panic mode to stop the Baron from going down. We talk about how powerful Baron is.
Oh, my trial by fire.
Brandini almost getting that kill 1v2. Not quite able to do it. And then Laud giving up his life for the greater good. We talk about, like I was saying, the wave clear being really low right now, and that makes Baron super strong. So definitely worth it, but the gold lead is starting to get out of hand.
And going in is the only thing that Stunt and the rest of the team have in mind. Shirelia's Reverie now completed for him and the squad. Beautiful item to have back into the game.
With a little bit more AP focus than it used to have.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good Malmo Mortius for Rikara too as they build up their magic resistance. This damage on Brandini is crazy. He's going to start deleting people soon.
It's a very different look on the Rakan, you know. Usually you see...
It is.
You know, like I said, the Zeke's Convergent.
Zeke's Ardent.
Then you'll also often see, if you want more help on your engage, you get, well, I was going to say Righteous Glory, if that's going to be your engage.
For the engage, right, yeah.
Yeah, but instead he's going to Shirelia's Revelry and the Athene, so he has a lot more AP than the typical Rakan. Interesting take on it.
Absolutely. Feeling pretty good, and he's making an impact on the game. 4, 2, and 5. You see down the line, everybody has really had their hand in what's been going on. If you look at 100 Thieves, 9 kills to a 4, 2, 5 stunt. He's 9 participation, 100% I should say, and all 9 of those rather. Super good job from him, and it just shows you how mobile this map and game is really becoming throughout this meta. Drowsy bubble back. Golden Guardians looking for time number 2. Rikara in the same spot. Deja Vu, are we running a replay? Throws out the ultimate. Sheep gets locked up. And again, stunt goes in. Rikara picks up Sheep. Pollock stays alive this time. That's the change they needed. And they turn it back onto Rikara with his flash going down as well. Levi taking big damage down to half health, but that's the front end burst. Where's the follow-up coming in from Golden Guardians? It might be enough time for 100 Thieves to make it home safe. Again, nobody gets Baron, but this one turns out much better for Golden Guardians.
Yeah, you said Deja Vu right at the start, and once again, Rikara kicks it off with the ultimate into E combo and stunt coming in to instantly blow a target up, but this time Golden Guardians are more on the same page and are able to kite back to the same side and trade the kills out. Now, with that kind of sustain from Mundo and the huge amount of percent damage that they have on neutral objectives, are starting the Baron up again. Whoa.
Linsanity thought that was meant for him.
Yeah, well, there's like, I know what's going to happen, so I will act preemptively. You know, we talked about the...
He would have been dead. Bubble after that, dead. But go ahead.
Anyway, so once again here, Rikara occupying that position. Golden Guardians really got to do a better job of getting a ward back there so they stop getting surprised by this. The flash forward may be a little over-eager. It does lead for the kill onto the Soraka, which is very important to get right away, but then he has no way out of this situation, goes down. Mundo, in the meantime, had run disruption duty, so the rest of the team could beat up on that fight. And even though you have that grievous wounds on top of him, just even after that, with his passive and the Warmogs, he's going to heal back up. So doesn't need his ultimate out of combat, and that leads to a bit of a even situation. Both teams disengage. Baron's still alive, and 10k goalie for 100 Thieves, but not able to win that fight conclusively.
Final items coming in for Brandy. And now he has the stopwatch to sell.
This is a disgusting amount of extra gold as a GP at 50k.
5,000 gold over.
Yeah. And his next closest, even on his own team, is about 2,500 behind, so.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Despite all that, like we said, though, Golden Guardians being able to win a fight just because he is so much stronger of a frontliner. Zig basically took on 3 champions alone in that fight, didn't die, was able to continue being a frontline after the fight. So, you know, we talk about 100 Thieves having the ability to instantly win a fight by blowing up the backline, but if you don't do that, the Soraka and the Mundo having so much extra sustained frontline ability means that they're able actually to win some of these fights despite being massively behind.
Oops. No one saw that. Sun was in his eyes. It's all right.
Lag.
Stunt and the rest of the team clearing out the wards. Possible final touches here as they would, well, I could say final touches on a fight that would lead them to Baron, because the game has been closed out very quick after we see that every time. This one surpassing our game 1 of the day by just a few minutes so far, as 100 Thieves is looking for the last place to sink their teeth in. Now goal side to Golden Guardians, actually.
Yeah, they're kind of forcing them down, playing the map vertically. It's very risky because we talk about that massive engage. The Golden Guardians want to fight for this mid lane priority, but it's tough. Stun can go at any moment here if anyone's just out of position, has his flash available. That Shirelia's, like we said, the Alt-W combination, but Aurelia needs to be in position to follow up, otherwise they don't have any damage.
All right. A little bit of that dancing in the mid lane, and they said, perfect, we've pushed them out enough, this is when we start Baron. But look where Rikara's coming from. Once again, they can take this down decently fast, but they want to figure out where the pressure's coming from first. They've lost where Rikara is unless they can get a ward over the wall. Bot lane getting pressure just a little bit, as you saw from the minions, as they go in. And Stun wants to get to Rikara for safety, so he uses the team to teleport himself through with the dodges, dips, and dives. They are going to start dropping Golden Guardians left and right. Zig on the back line trying to keep their attention, and the kills for himself as he only grabs Linsanity. But the rest of 100 Thieves stands tall, and they take the fight to themselves.
Well, interestingly, Zig's going to be able to heal up here, and Benji's still healthy, so they might still be able to...
We saw this before.
Yeah, they might be able to stop this by themselves. Ooh, Zig is getting beat up by Brandy.
Big pillar of flame. Oh, right for the Baron. That's big damage onto Rikara. Nice dodge by Bendy. The follow-up is going to be huge. And they instantly drop Benji. He does what he can. Once again, Zig here saying, file these papers. You have more work to do, and I will give you the homework. Here comes the teleport now coming in from Rikara. He'll be back into the fight as he went down first. The Guardian Angel is on, and there's no chance to stop them at this point. It looks like the mid push will happen here from Zig to get as much ground as he can.
And that time, with the death of Benji,
Wow.
Zig not being able to do enough, they're actually going to be able to grab this Baron buff. And Rakara, once again, a huge flank at the start, way back there. Able to find the back line of Golden Guardians. Finally secures them this Baron buff, which teams have been fighting over for about the last 10 minutes. They finally get one.
Stunned as well with his continued focus of finding Rakara as well throughout the fight. As soon as they want to go, he gets back and makes sure that Rakara has enough shields to do the damage.
And then you see, with that W on and a Lulu shield on top of him, Rakara didn't actually take any damage despite getting hit by that Drowsy. So it's going to be a bit of a problem for Bobchin if that's who he has to keep pelting away with those battle stars.
He is basically built up at this point. That Tiamat just has to turn into something else. They go for the Elder Drake. This is actually a Forest Dragon. Golden Guardians gets this, and they might become more powerful. Whoa! A very drowsy Rakara goes through, but he wakes up quick, and he starts just doing huge damage to the entire team of Golden Guardians. As they dip left and right, Ziggs is following Levi. Pushes Stun out of the fight. Levi possibly going down here. Oh, if Zig would have hit Elder Drake, he could have finalized the fight there. But he is now going down into 2v1. We saw this happening with Pie Cake Lord last game. And now Brandini may have to help on the bot side. So much explosive front end damage in the beginning of these fights. Just dropping Golden Guardians members, and you see it leaves Zig by himself. They need to be able to stick together more.
And the team just decided to ignore him, use this Baron buff to push.
Yeah.
Benji actually had a monstrous ultimate that almost won that fight for his team, but Zig was just not in a position to actually get any of the kills. Very tough for Dr. Mundo, just kind of chasing people around. Now he's the one getting chased. Brandini just trying to stop Zig's recall. Not sure he'll ever be able to kill him, but hey, Levi's regened up with the Ocean Drake and red buff.
God, Zig's not even looking where he's going. He's on the phone. Put the phone down. Oh, man. Oh, he goes down. Nice try. Attempt. Great run, though. Always love a good game of Ring Around the Rosie. You can buy some time, and he's hoping to get Golden Guardians enough time to get back on the map here and stop this Elder Drake. I don't know if it's going to be enough unless a beautiful star call comes down from Sheep, and he steals it 10 seconds ago.
Not going to be the case.
Fortunately, does not happen.
Yep. Really surprised he couldn't get that Elder Steal. Really expecting more out of that guy. So let's take a look at this. Rakara once again starting these fights off. Great job by him sitting in that brush. They go right over the top of him, and he's able to instantly find Sheep for this kill.
That's done.
Whoa! Yep, so he's instantly dead. Now watch Benji's ult. It just bounces between 3 people, and all of them stack up for his passive, actually. So the passive procs on the 3 or 4 different people, and everyone now is at about a quarter HP. Bobchin gets split up, gets chased down by those 2, and Zig just can't get on top of Levi and stunt. Too much mobility from them. And so you think with that ultimate, they are almost able to win it, but just not quite enough out of the rest of Golden Guardians. And 100 Thieves grab the mid lane turret, grab the Elder Dragon, but these fights are still super, super close, even when Sheep is instantly dead at the beginning.
Woof, Titanic finished up. She got himself the redemption finish, but now off cooldown, so he can wish when he's dead too.
If I'm gonna die right away, get items that work from the grave.
Exactly. Definitely focused down by Rakara. They have his number, and now they need to stop a Baron push. Look at how good they are at stopping Baron minions, too, on the side of Golden Guardians. It becomes tough for a team like that.
Yeah, they don't have too many tools to
No.
wave. Their brand is basically all you got. Zoe can do okay, but if someone steps in front, it's not going to have much of an effect.
Oof.
2 inhibs down. Third one, minion wave already set up by Rakara, but the Baron did time out, so it'll be a little easier for them to wave clear. So they're going to have to deal with 2 minion waves of super minions pushing into their base.
100 Thieves really looking to pick up a win here with their loss versus Optic Academy yesterday. Changing things around. They got banned out on the Tarot composition, so they didn't choose the Yi, but they definitely didn't go back to the normal composition. And here, flourishing with Rakara going crazy. But really, Brandini holding his ground as well in this game.
Yeah, Brandini's definitely the superstar for this game. His bot lane was in trouble early, but they managed to stabilize well enough for him to eventually start getting global objectives, his natural gold generation, getting him to a point where he became a monster. And then Rakara really recovered well as well. You know, we talk about his team fighting, always finding the flank and finding the back line. Those 2 factors combined, allowing 100 Thieves to look like they're about in position to close this game out.
Ha! Wow, going full on to Zig here. Ricard not really having the grievous wounds for himself, and he sees what kind of impact that actually has. And now Brandini not find himself in a good spot. 3-talon strike actually hits as Brandini got the flash away, so it kept him in range slightly. Cannot get the parlay back. Pollock very low. Convergence is on him, but it's not going to do extra damage in the Firestorm. Zig doesn't have that ultimate. And he is a glutton for punishment on that Mundo. Goes back in for the fight, but he goes down. Our longest game of the Academy split so far is going to be around 40 minutes here as 100 Thieves come back from their loss yesterday to take a victory over Golden Guardians.
And in that final fight, Benji got popped instantly. It had been to Soraka before, and without Benji's team fight presence, easy cleanup for 100 Thieves. Really impressive bounce back by them, and in particular, Brandini. Huge gangplank performance.
Absolutely. We see a lot of these teams going kind of strong. If you're going to play that unorthodox style bot side for red, we're just going to dive you over and over again because, yeah, we have to go around the long way, but your guy did blue, he's on red, perfect time to gank. And that's what we see kind of coming from blue a lot. But red can come back.
Yep, red was able to come back. I think, you know, some of the plays could have been a little cleaner with those dives that you're talking about. They lost the one. Yeah. They lost a couple pickoffs.
Or waiting too long.
Yep, exactly. So I think, you know, Golden Guardians has a lot to look back at this game. Definitely a winnable game by them. And just were not able to complete the snowball. And, you know, Brandini has some interesting, you know, builds. Ends up, you know, getting past 2 items. Goes Storm Razor, a pretty new item that we haven't seen that much because crit's not just super in the meta, but it's a great 1 crit item because you're guaranteed to crit, so your barrel combo is actually using that very well. It's really cool to see this game go late and see what itemization choices people start making.